Patch 13.7b has stabilized over the past week, and a clear meta has formed. Hacker and Quickdraw are incredibly dominant, while other strong comps require high roll to do well with. 1 and 3 cost reroll is incredibly strong, so tempo lobby is often very high. In this video, I'll show you my tier list of the strongest comps, my strategy for climbing on this patch, and lastly, I'll cover how to play all the comps mentioned. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor. If you're interested in getting better at TFT, then the sponsor of today's video, Tacter, is just what you need. They have a Discord community filled with gamers that want to get better at their favorite game, and they provide a free in-depth library of guides for TFT and other games like League of Legends as well. All the guides they provide are up to date and written by experts like myself. And by joining their Discord, you get access to all of this, and you're able to learn from pros and get your questions answered. Soon, the Tacter platform will be released, where you'll be able to create and share your own guides and make money off of them. On top of that, Tacter is doing a giveaway for €10 Riot Points gift cards, and if you want to have a chance to get some skins and new little legends for free, then click the link in the description to join the Discord. And once you're in, go to the Tacter Library and comment in the Gnar Comp guide with Maskoff TFT Army. 10 winners will be selected on the 21st of March. Thanks again to Tacter for sponsoring the video and for the giveaway. Looking at the tier list, in S tier we have Gadgeteen Gnar Reroll, and it's by far the best comp in the game. You should only play this comp with +1 Gadgeteen, as you need 5 Gadgeteen for the comp to work, but if you manage to hit it, it's still incredibly overpowered. Lucian Reroll is a great 1-cost reroll option. With proper items like blue buff and death cap, Lucian deals a ton of single target damage, which stabilizes the comp very hard once you hit your 3 stars. Hacker LeBlanc reroll is the best comp to play from an AP low roll opener. There are a ton of high roll opportunities in this comp, with augments and admins that make this comp broken, but even without them, it's still really easy to farm top 4s with this. Kaisa Reroll sits at the top of A tier. This comp is very flexible and has many high roll opportunities that can get easy top 2s. But if you fall behind and can't hit, this comp really struggles to catch up. Spellslinger TF and Nico remains in A tier as a great top 4 option that struggles to win due to bad matchups and the board's reliance on hitting 2-star forecasts, often leaving you stuck on rolling at levels 7 and 8. Lasercore Warwick is the best way to play him right now. The board has insane tempo once you hit Warwick for 4 Lasercore that often allows you to farm free top 4s, while capping very high with Mordekaiser 2 at level 9. Infiniteam Sureshots is an S tier comp with +1 Infiniteam, but the comp struggles against hacker players, and it's pretty weak without the +1. The comp stabilizes nicely in the mid game at level 7 or 8 with Samira 2 and 5 Infiniteam, but falls off without hitting Ultimate Ezreal or an Infiniteam spat. Mech Garen Flex is a decent top 4 option to play if you have no direction. You can play any of Belweth, Samira, Aesol, and MF as carries behind it, but don't expect to win games with this comp unless you can go for a fast 9. Renegade Jhin and Viego is a good comp if you can itemize multiple 2-star forecasts, but it's often a struggle to get there, and usually you can only manage the top 4 due to bad matchups. Anima Squad took a big hit with the recent MF nerfs, so you should only play this from a high roll spot, which is a strong opener, Anima +1, and good items. Vex Reroll is really only playable with +1 mascot and multiple tiers, as the comp tends to struggle sustaining its frontline long enough for Vex to kill enemy frontliners. Now let's get into my strategy for climbing on this patch. Any starting component aside from Cloak is playable, but I would recommend Tier the most on this patch. Tier lets you play LeBlanc, Spellslingers, or quick draws like MF and Kaisa easily, while allowing you to default into Lucian Reroll without a strong opener. Bow is the best AD item, but is more reliant on high roll for comps like Infiniteam, Warwick, and Samira, while also keeping your options open to TF, Kaisa, and Jhin. Belt and Chain keep you flexible between pretty much every comp in the meta, so I would only recommend it to more experienced players. In the early game, you want to try to win streak and preserve HP as much as possible, or full open to start stacking econ. Here are a couple of examples of early game AD boards you can play: Lasercore Ashe, 4 Duelists, and Draven with any frontline. And some AP boards you can play is Infiniteam Lucian, Spellslinger Lux, or Anima Squad Jinx. By stage 3 you should have an idea what comp you intend on playing, and when you want to roll for your board. If you are playing a standard comp, you should level to 7 and roll down on 3-5 if you are low in HP with a lot of money, or in most games on 4-1 for upgraded frontline plus your 4-cost carry. If you're playing a 2 or 3 cost reroll comp, you should usually roll down on 3-2 to stabilize and start your win streak. Lobby tempo is generally very high in the mid game, so when you lose rounds, you tend to get blown out due to reroll players spiking, and hacker players as well, so make sure to stabilize your board at level 7 before pushing level 8. Now, let's take a look at each individual comp. All of these are linked in an Imgur album that is available for patrons and YouTube members, and the link to join those are down in the description. Gadgeteen Gnar is a 3-cost reroll comp that prefers to roll level 7 if you have +1 Gadgeteen. Play this board with Lulu instead of Nunu, and Alistar out. If you don't have +1 Gadgeteen or Nunu at level 7, play 3 Gadgeteen, 3 Hacker, and a Flex unit. Don't play Prankster, as it's currently bugged with the Gadgeteen bonus stats, but this will change in future patches most likely. The Gadgeteen spat can go on either LeBlanc, Shen, or Pike, with LeBlanc being the priority if you aren't 3-starring any of them. Try to 3-star LeBlanc, Shen, Pike, and Annie if you can, but give up on them and focus on Gnar if you have to, as they are only bonuses. Gnar's most important item is healing like BT or Hodge, followed by Last Whisper. The last item can be a second healing item, or a damage item like Titans, Deathblade, or Giant Slayer. Throw your tank items on Annie and play any AP items on LeBlanc. Lucian is a 1-cost reroll comp, meaning you should never level on stage 2 and try to hoard as much economy as possible. This is the standard board, but you can also play Pantheon as your main tank with Shen, especially with either of his hero augments. On 3-1, you should roll down to 20 or 30 gold to try to hit as many 1-cost copies as possible, then slow roll at level 5 until you hit Blitzcranks, Silas, and Lucian 3. Push levels for 4 Quickdraw and Riven afterwards. Always build blue buff for Lucian first, then Deathcap second, unless you have AP from other sources, like Enchanted Ammunition. Any third item can work, like JG, Giant Slayer, Gunblade, and Hodge. Blitzcrank should always carry your tank items unless you have Kingslayer. His only core item is Stoneplate, and other tank items will work on him. But the best is still Protector's Vow. Unlike other AP comps, Magic Shred from Shiv or Spark isn't a top priority, but you should still try to build it if possible. And once you start pushing levels, start making items for Misfortune, as that is the best way to cap out late game. Hacker LeBlanc is a 3-cost reroll comp that prefers to roll level 7. If your 4 admin is not good, you can drop 2 admin for Morgana plus Garen or other flex units. Typically, you want to roll down on 3-2 to stabilize your board if you are weak by hitting 3 Hacker and some upgrades. Pike 3 and Sona 3 are the other priorities in this comp. Go for them if you can, but don't greed too hard for them, as you might be contested. LeBlanc's best item is Archangels, which allows her to scale into the fight and drain tank once the enemy team starts targeting her. Her next best item is Edge of Night, which keeps her safe in the enemy backline as it allows her to ramp up. The last item can be a mana item like Sojin or Blue Buff, or a damage item like another Archangels, Deathcap, JG, Giant Slayer, or Guardbreaker. Itemize Pike with any extra items you have like Spark for Shred, Sunfire, or Morello for anti-heal, or Chalice for more AP on LeBlanc. Tank items usually go on Blitzcrank, and extra AP items go on Sona. Next up is Infiniteam, which usually rolls at level 7 for 1 TF, as 5 Infiniteam is the most important spike for this comp. If your board is weak even with 5 Infiniteam, you should continue rolling until you hit an upgraded 4-cost unit, like Samira 2 or Garen 2 before going level 8. If you have an Infiniteam spat, you should always try to play 7 Infiniteam, and put the spat on Garen or Fiddlesticks. Prioritize making items for Samira, as she uses the same items as Ultimate Ezreal, and use Sivir as your item holder. Samira and Ultimate Ezreal's best items are Last Whisper and IE, with Rageblade, Hurricane, Deathblade, Giant Slayer, Hodge, Gunblade, and Guardbreaker being good options. Put your tank items on Garen, and any extra attack speed or AP items on TF. Spellslinger boards prefer to roll level 8 to hit 2-star 4-costs, Janna and Syndra, but you should usually roll level 7 as you're often contested and the comp still plays well with just 4 Oxforce for Spellslingers. Drop Echo from this board on your roll down to stabilize and put him in at level 8. At level 9, drop Sona and Echo for Syndra and Janna, and add a Nunu. Prioritize making Shred in either Spark or Shiv, and itemizing TF first is usually more consistent as he provides single target damage, but you shouldn't be too picky as itemizing Nico works well too. TF's best items are Rageblade, Shiv, JG, Giant Slayer, Hodge, Gunblade, Deathcap, Archangels, and Guardbreaker, while Nico's best items are JG, Guardbreaker, Sojin, Giant Slayer, Deathcap, and Archangels. Tank items can go on Annie or Echo, and any extra carry items can go on Viego. Kaisa is another 3-cost reroll comp that prefers to roll level 7, unless you have Hold the Line, in which case you would roll level 6. There are 2 boards for this comp. The 4 Defender board, which you should lean towards in AD heavy lobbies, and the 4 Star Guardian board. If you get a Star Guardian spat, put it on MF and prioritize itemizing her. While rolling for Kaisa 3, you should also prioritize Rel 3, Nyla 3, and Riven 3. If you can hit Rel 3, itemize her with tank items, Otherwise, put him on Garen or Echo. Kaisa's 2 core items are Gunblade and Shiv, and the third item can be any AP item like Guardbreaker, Deathcap, Archangels, Rageblade, or Giant Slayer. Thank you so much for watching. If you learned something, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want cheat sheets for any of my comp guides, they're available for YouTube members and patrons, and links to those are down in the description. And if you want to get better at TFT, join the Discord. We got over 9,000 other players there who are hungry to climb. And if you want to get coached by me, the information is over on the Discord server as well. So take care and see you in the next video.